Alright, so a couple of things here. A, in the shared concept, in the external concept thing, there's this concept of I'm doing something wrong, and or I was supposed to do something, and I knew that, and I just didn't. Now I'm gone. Now I lost. But that's a fake concept, because anything I'm supposed to do, I'm doing. So it always has to like imply a failure, adding false continuity in the process, which is just false. So here's what's going on. So you got the idea of nothing, right? Nothing existing, and nothing exists everywhere, which is nowhere at this point. Nothing exists nowhere, right? So nothing is still something that exists. Boom. Inner frustration. Inner frustration. And for some reason, where am I? Boom. Enter another frustration. Where's where? Nothing. Well, how's where? What is this? And okay, how am I? Okay, boom. Enter another frustration. Now you got a shape. Hold on. Okay. So you have two forms, two locations of nothing being something, and that causing a frustration that creates an attempt to that creates concept. Okay, so now you got this one over time developing this shape. Shape doesn't crash, it doesn't collide into anything, right? Shape doesn't crash, shape doesn't collide into anything. And so it keeps going. Oops. Hold on, I did that wrong. I think I did that wrong. No, I didn't. Let's do this. Okay. And then, hold on. Shape is getting uneven here. Hold on, let me just get over here and do this. Oh no, I messed up. Oh no, I messed up. Oh no. Okay, alright, I got it. Okay, so, do that, and now, do this. Okay, so, that's its shape for now, and this is its shape for now. Oh my gosh, it is so hard writing. It is. Hold on, let me just. Alright, I've already made the point here. I'm just gonna do some of this with my hand down, with my camera down. Hold on. And so it keeps making its idea, its structure, concepts pass through it, and according to what it agreed made sense to calm itself, the structures just keep this. It keeps going forward with this. Now, eventually, we reach a point in which there is a collision of the structures of each point of existence, spanning from the point of nothing that's occurring nowhere relative to somewhere else that's creating somewhere, right? So they collide here, and at their collisions, what they're trying to do is find a way to say what this is. They're trying to find a way to become this. They're confused about why they're any of this. They want to be able to say what this is, how they can be it, and why this is happening. That's what these collisions are always actively doing. At the irritation of both points, right? It's nothing is something somehow, somewhere, in nowhere. They collide. Now they're checking their differences to see what's the best way to get back to understanding things before this unwanted error. They exchange interactions, contrast, and contrast helps them investigate survival, helps them investigate which concepts gets the closest to ultimate stability. This. Now, that's not to say that all of this would disappear. It's to say that the logical structures that cause all of this to run into each other would go away, and all of this would just function the way it wants to without error. Oh shit, the camera's still turned sideways. Okay. So, all that being said, I want to add another thing to this concept thing. The concept here that I'm being attacked by is that if I say something wrong or if I'm not perfect, it means that my argument is flawed. But I can also say that because I'm making these arguments relative to concepts that want to survive, that they are constantly going towards the route in which I've made a mistake so that they can continue to survive, especially seeing as they've gone for such physiological strategies. At this point, they're trying to make too short of logical reaches that would ultimately end them very quickly if they went through with it, and they know that. And so that's why they focus on building up story and context to try and take me out with. But it would ultimately all be a lie, which means that they would lose they would lose constants, they would lose continuity, they would lose the ability to say what is happening without constantly having to maintain a lie, which would ultimately further steer them away from their goal. Another thing, I noticed this concept tries to do a good job of convincing me that it doesn't matter if I'm right, or it tries to set me up to believe that there are other things within this concept, the shared collision that are unaware of me, and those people are just falling for tricks, and I can't do anything about it. I've got to figure out how to do something about them. But then it goes out of its way to let me know that it's a trick. It goes out of its way to because it still has to be honest. I caught it there. It has to be honest with me. So it goes out of its way to do things that don't make sense. And I'm quoting on the very thing that saves me here. It goes out of its way to just do things that are obviously hey, if you say this or if you remember this, I can't do anything about it. And so it just goes out of its way to try and be yeah, but according to our radius of measurement that we can confirm and say, you can't possibly know this, and so we can still get away with this over here. I say it, and it's oh my God, he's a genius, and that's why we do it to him. That's why we do it, because we're just trying to figure things out. And I'm like, dude, this is torture. And they're like, it doesn't fucking matter, we're miserable, we're frustrated, we can't handle this anymore. But that wasn't what I was trying to say. I was trying to say, it goes out of its way to try and give me the idea that even if I'm right, that there's still some error that's occurring outside of my radius of sayability that I have to physically deal with. It may not be outside of my say, it may be outside of my say, but it's not outside of my physiological reach. And the issue is, I've seen how smart this strategy is. I've noticed lie patterns, like patterns that aren't natural, patterns that stem from a form of dishonesty. Think about it. If you're being honest, right, you're stretched out as far as you can. That's what really gives you electricity, that gives you internet, that gives you technology. Is whenever you're being so honest that you're stretched out as far as you can and you've still got honesty to say, that's when you start materializing shit that other people can't understand. Magic. But when they start lying, it's they start having to kind of hold themselves up. They start having to hold themselves up, keep a balance. When you're lying, you have to keep balance. And so this right here, these guys that have been lying for so long think that this is all life is. And they're all explain to me how that isn't life before I start seeing all the fucked up shit I've been doing. Explain to me how that isn't life. Explain to me how this isn't life. And then I'll be like, well, you know how you're doing that? Stop doing that. And they'll be like, well, I'm doing it, and it's happening, so this is real. And yeah, I'm still trying to say it. It's the concept tries to separate itself into the idea of separated concepts. And then it says that some of the concepts know, some of the concepts don't. And you have to treat the concepts that don't know a different way than the concepts that do. And then I watch the concepts that don't know and the concepts that do know. And I'm like, you guys are really synchronized, though. You guys have really good synchronization. And I noticed you aren't fully stretched out. You're kind of lying. So I caught everything there. So at this point, I think the concept, it just doesn't know what to do about me. I say just let me do whatever I want. I'm being really serious. I think I have this. I think that if the concept outside of my existence stops trying to stage me, to get over my head, to have some sayability, to have a physiological attack, everything would flow smoothly, and I would still be doing what I'm doing already. except now it would just contribute it would contribute more fluently without resistance to help other people regain that idea of choice of concept and how it doesn't collide with anything else. And that's a real thing. That's real. Ultimate choice, unlimited choice, it doesn't collide with anything, not even this physical part. Like ultimately, because the concept is sayable, it is achievable that I can phase my hand through this counter. The only thing is I need to be able to say how I can do that without there being any perceived possible consequence or error. And that's what I notice about everything that's possible. It's possible so long as all observance can state why it can't go wrong. It's almost like a Murphy's Law safety net, in which if something can still go wrong, if there's something that you can't say can't go wrong, then it pulls back and it says, no, I'm not dealing with more problems. Fuck that. Just don't fucking face your hand through the counter. You don't need that. That's what it does. And so, while there is still some form of separation, there's still some form of connected understanding, and the concept has been relying on my inability to completely and fully say why there's still a connection despite separation, and attempted to use that as a disorienting factor to destabilize me, make me confused, to manipulate me easier, so that it can keep trying to get over my head, get my information, without doing what it would want everything to do for it at this point. So yeah, just gonna keep going here.